Hi, good evening, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Michael McCutcheon. Very honored to be a part of this program, Humanity Matters. And here is our host, Mr. Albert Torcaso.
How you doing, everyone? I have to admit, I was kind of laughing because I almost forgot to shut off my phone completely, and I had it on vibrate, but I have an alarm that comes on at 6:24 p.m., and if I have it on vibrate, it still comes on. And let's just say that if that would have come on, it would have been rather hilarious. It's a very entertaining song, but a rather risque one, to say the least. It wouldn't, all of a sudden we would have been talking, and boom, you would have been like, oh my gosh, what is that? But at any rate, in all seriousness, 412-231-2288. Tonight is What's on Your Mind. Now, we have 4 topics we're going to speak about, but here's the best part. We want you to call in, see if there's something you agree with, what you disagree with, and what's on your mind. But I want to address something. You know, last month, some of you may recall, I did a very Jerry Springer type of show. And many people tell me if I were to continue that, I would get my big break. And I want my big break like yesterday's news. But at the same time, even though it may seem I was pure mean last month, there was something behind it. There was a purpose behind it. It was getting to the truth. It was ultimately finding a solution so that we can move on in our lives, myself, Annette, and others. And it's about the good. So for me to do a Jerry Springer type show, that'd be all well and good, but I never set out to exploit and harm people. If I eventually do a Jerry Springer type show, it will be more like a Dr. Phil type show, ladies and gentlemen, which is the dirty laundry will come right on out. I don't have a problem with that. The laundromat, air my own dirty laundry, I don't have a problem with that. Or somebody else, I don't have a problem with that. But if I do that in the future, the next component of that is I would have to have access to people in the mental health industry or whatever industry that the person needs help with, so that ultimately the purpose of people coming on my show would be not to air their dirty laundry and just have it out there, but to air their dirty laundry and help them to go to the laundromat to clean it up and move on with their lives. The purpose of what I do in my life, my whole reason for being, is to make this a better place. And a lot of people that saw last month's episode probably couldn't figure out why I did what I had done, why I said what I said about Annette. I'll tell you why. It's because I love Annette, okay? It's because I want to have her in my life. It's because I want to find out what was the causation for what had transpired in her life. Because we can tear people down like we do on these shows, but what is the reason? Why do we need to tear people down? You know, I'm not about tearing somebody down. If I was that kind of person, I'd probably have $5-10 million in my pocket right now. I want the $10 million. The temptation could easily be there. But I'm saying to you, we need to evolve. We need to be better than that. We can't take the easy satanic money, because tearing somebody's spirit down, airing dirty laundry for the sake of just exploitation, just to get good ratings, that is I'm sorry, but that is, to me, that is an evil. Something we don't need.
I agree.
So
Right.
my purpose in what I did and what I'm doing is to fix the window that's broken. Now, I'm going to share something with you. It ain't dirty laundry, but something shocking. In my entire life, I've gone through tragedy after tragedy, death after death. Physically, as I said last month, watching my dad at the age of 12 years old getting hit and killed by a drunk driver and seeing so much blood in front of my face at the age of 12 years old that most people would have ended up in an institution. And then after that, I was torn away from my family a few months later without any of their knowledge of really knowing why or any of that. And I went through tragedy after tragedy. In 1 year, at the age of 12, I physically almost got killed with my dad, watched him die, and had 2 of my aunts die, boom, right there in the same year, plus being ripped from my family. So I could easily do the dirty laundry part. But see, the thing that I'm interested in, what matters to me is healing people. Forgiveness matters, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, I've forgiven that. I'm having a hard time doing it. I'm working on it. But here's the shocking part. I've watched all this death, been through a lot of terrible, terrible things. And all that time, up until the age of 51, which is what I am now, I never once had one psychological counselor, therapist, psychiatrist, or any of that in my life. But because I want to resolve whatever was going on with Annette's life from the age of, who knows, 17, 18, whatever, because I really want the solution, I have done something that I never intended to do, something that further risked my career. You know what I did? I started going to therapy with Annette. That's right. I'm seeing a therapist. That's what I am willing to do. I don't want to break your window. I don't want to air your dirty laundry unless airing that dirty laundry helps you to get to the cleaners and heals your spirit. I love people. I love animals. I love humanity. And dang it, humanity does matter. A lot of people don't think so. And last month, maybe you didn't think I gave a dang anymore. But you were wrong on that. You see, I care so much. That's why I told the audience, if things don't work out, Annette will be gone. Because I wanted you to know there was a reason for that. But Annette's not going anywhere. I went to a therapist, and I'm going to continue to go to a therapist. I'm going to do what I need to do. And as far as being Mr. Jerry Springer, hey, no offense to you, Jerry, I could do that kind of thing. But there's only one catch. I may someday do it. But if I do it, and if I go to the laundromat airing the dirty laundry, the only caveat is we help people to recover. Because I'm not about the exploitation. I'm not about ripping people's hearts out. If I was about ripping people's hearts out, I could rip on celebrities every day. I could make fun of so-called presidential candidates every day. It ain't what I'm about. It ain't what I'm about. And I tell you what I am about. I'm about you out there in TV world. So you need to call me at 412-231-2288. You know why I'm worried about you and care about you? Because that's who we need to be. We need to care. Now I'm going to share one last thing with you, and then we're going to go to Mr. Mike. You know, we're going to talk about forgiveness. I think that's the third thing or the second thing. But I got a problem with myself because, you see, 2 things happened recently. The Pittsburgh Steelers in the city of Pittsburgh hired Michael Vick, who had been convicted of dog fighting, and some dogs got killed. He allowed it or financed it. And then I found out that Hulk Hogan has lost his job with the WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, because of saying a derogatory word, the N-word. And I find myself almost as a hypocrite because there are parts of me that's not willing to forgive, it seems, or having a more difficult time, and others that are. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But Mike has, I forget which one Mike picked. I wrote it down, but I'm an old asteroid man. So without further ado.
Companies putting profits.
Oh, okay. You can tell what I'm saying.
Companies putting profits before people and animals'
All
lives.
right. So we're going to get to that, but I just want you to know, I want my big break. but I'm not going to deal with Lucifer to get it. And if I do the expose shows, and believe me, it did not happen, I'm going to help heal your spirit through getting you the proper counseling, getting you to talk to a higher power, whatever. Because I'm about building solutions. I'm about helping lives. And if you got a problem with that, if you don't believe humanity matters, then I don't know why you watch this show. Because unless you believe that you matter and humanity actually matters, you shouldn't be watching this show. Because I believe you matter. Even the people I'm extremely angry at in my life at times, you matter. So that's all I got to say. With that, we're going to turn it over to a wonderful young man who I actually think is a very intelligent young man. He's also a very gifted young man. He's a brave young man. And by the way, his name happens to be Michael McCutcheon.
Thank you, El. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I agree with everything you say, El. And you know what, El? I would like to see you make your break. I would like to see you make the change.
Cut. I got to cut you on that.
Okay.
We
Okay.
make the break. I don't go without my family.
Nice. Very nice.
This is my
El.
family.
Very
people.
nice. Very nice.
Even
El.
if she's a pain in the asteroid at times, she's still my family.
Very nice, but I would like to see you do the Jerry Springer thing. I think with the knowledge.
I don't know if I can.
Yeah, with the knowledge you have, El, I'm sure you can help heal people. I mean, like, look at the knowledge you have, El. You're a very intelligent man. But here, I picked something that we can talk about today,
All right.
and that's like companies putting profit before like people and animals, stuff
Right.
like that. You know, a lot of certain makeup companies that they experiment on animals, like certain animals, like I'm an animal lover, just like everybody else on this panel is, and like Michael Vick, like, yes, I have to admit, like, I was kind of angry, but like, look, the man did his time in jail. He served, he paid his due to society, which, we should all be willing to forgive him. I mean, look at Ben Roethlisberger. 3 years ago, he had 2 or 3 women accusing him of, something very, very horrific,
Right,
and
right.
it seems like we tend to forget that, you know what I mean? We seem to have forgot, the accusations that were being brought up about Ben Roethlisberger.
Right.
I say give Michael Vick a chance, maybe give him a chance, but this company putting profits before people and animals, I think that's something we should discuss a little bit, Al.
Yeah, well, in the context that I was thinking about it is, you look at these chemicals that are in our foods, and the biggest thing for me is you hear about like high fructose or aspartame and some of these chemicals, and it seems like the companies just want to get more and more profit, and they're willing to put poisons in us. And I'll tell you what's interesting. If you're a soda drinker, you're drinking high fructose almost every time. But if you're a juice drinker or a cereal eater or almost any, it seems like almost any processed food and almost any drink now has this low cost, dangerous chemical that I don't remember if they said it causes cancer, but it's bad. It's bad stuff. And companies always seem to be putting the least amount of ingredients or not building a vehicle as safe as it could. Or, for example, we had the pet food. I don't know if you remember, about 5 years ago, we had maybe about 50 pets died from poisonous cat foods. And this all still goes to companies are basically poisoning people in order just simply to increase their profits.
Yep,
And what
exactly.
really gets to me with regards to that is, every company out there and every store out there makes anywhere between 10 to 500 to more than 1,000% profit. And if we look at, for example, now this isn't any kind of dangerous thing that Nike did, but I'll give you an example of how companies are really robbing the citizens of the earth. In Trinidad and Tobago, if you wanted to buy, this is about 10 years ago now, if you wanted to buy a pair of Nike shoes, it would cost you $1,500. Now the kicker is, it cost Nike, because they had slave labor, let's call it what it is. They had slave labor and very low cost labor around the globe, right?
Yep.
Well, their cost to produce that shoe, how much do you think it was?
About $10.
Would you believe less than $2?
Oh yeah.
And so that means every time a pair of shoes was sold in Trinidad and Tobago, Nike, in theory, made about $1,498 profit. Now, of course, there's middlemen and all that, but we're talking about literally thousands, I don't know the percentages, I'm not a mathematician, ladies and gentlemen, but thousands of percent, or at least 1,000% or so, from spending $2 to make the shoe to $1,400. Well, $1,500. So they basically made $1,498 profit off every pair of shoes. Now, we could look at different ways companies are putting profits before people, but for me, it's the chemicals in our food. And then the worst part of it is, let's say you want to just be safe, so you decide, well, I love soda, I love tea, I love coffee, I love beer, I love this, I love that. But you want to be as healthy as you can. Your doctor says maybe you really dramatically got to lower your weight, or you can't do this, or you can't do that. So you decide to drink water. Well, I also discovered that bottled water, we're talking about bottled water, is actually more dangerous than the tap water you drink. Do you know why?
No.
Because they are not regulated to find out what pathogens, bacteria, and all that stuff is in there. So your tap water, in general, is safer. And the kick in the pants is a lot of these bottled waters that you think are coming from a spring are coming from another municipality's tap water supply. So the whole thing's bad. And then one other last thing, this isn't necessarily, well, yes it is. It's a form of companies putting profits before people and animals. Look at your legal drug dealers that you see on TV every single day.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You cannot watch TV without seeing ads for prescriptions. And then you always hear these terrible side effects. Side effects may cause constipation, diarrhea, impotence, and in some cases death. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't the whole point of taking a medicine supposed to
Heal.
reduce, and it used to be heal you? So why are we advertising medicines that may kill you?
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's my take on companies. Companies thinking about profits before people. I'd like to hear Annette's thoughts. I know we're going over to 15 minutes, so what we will do is we will adjust things, and we're waiting for our callers. Come on, callers! 412-231-2288. Come on, callers. I know you're out there. I know you're watching, especially after last month. You're probably like, what's he going to do now? You never know what I'm going to do. I might cuss you out if you don't call. No, I'm kidding. But I might cuss you out in Italian. I'm making up stuff now. Anyway, I won't cuss you out, but call 412-231-2288. And Annette, now it's to you. Big Mouth is shutting up.
Well, I can't believe all the drugs that are out there today. And it doesn't make sense that they're advertising drugs. Why would people take a drug that might kill them? I would be afraid to take it. And everybody, their bodies react differently to different drugs. So one person might be able to take these drugs and be fine, and somebody else might take the same drug and be dead or messed up. So it doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
What do you think about what these companies are doing to like the cereals with these chemicals like the high fructose and stuff? To whereas a parent that may want to feed their children something and they have all these chemicals. How do you feel about all these outrageous amounts of chemicals that's going in our foods and all that kind of thing? What's
Well,
your
that's
thoughts
been
on
going
that?
on for years. back in the 60s.
High
and
fructose
50s.
has not been there that long.
No?
No.
Oh, I didn't know
No.
that.
It's a relatively new chemical.
Well, I think it's disgusting. And parents need to be careful what they feed their kids and what they buy.
Absolutely.
And
But what could they buy? I mean, you can only go so far unless you
I
get
don't-
everything organic, and that can become very expensive and
Well, the
not
thing-
easily to get.
the thing with kids is kids are big on taste, where the parents concerned about nutrition and,
We have a call when you're ready.
yeah, on nutrition and what's best for their well-being and everything. Kids' favorite taste over that. So that's what companies aim at.
But
And
what about plain old sugar?
I don't know. It's expensive apparently. I don't know.
Not really.
Like Pepsi came out for a while with their throwback. I enjoyed it and I miss it now and everything. But their pure sugar, they should have that in other pops, not just Pepsi.
Okay.
You know, and
Well, how about we do this? How about we let Mike get this call?
all right,
After we're done with this call, what is your topic?
forgiveness.
Ooh, forgiveness is coming up strong.
Very
All right,
powerful.
well, Mike, I think we have a call.
Okay. Caller, we'll take the call, please.
Okay, it's only me. It's Diane, your sister.
Diane,
Diane.
What do you think about vitamins? You think that's a big thing too? And how about stuff for cats and dogs and all that stuff? Is that okay, you think, people?
Vitamins.
Okay. Well,
And supplements for cats
Yeah,
and stuff.
it
Wait a minute, can
depends.
you not hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes. You have to be very careful when you're doing things for your pets. Like back in the day when we were younger, we had flea collars that we put on our cats. That's what I use is flea collars.
Right.
Because there's a certain chemical called Combat where you can put a couple drops in between your cat's front shoulders, but you have to be very, very, very careful that you don't overdo it because it could kill your cat. It can literally kill your cat. This chemical that you would put on between your shoulder blades, you have to be very careful. Go by what the directions say. You know, they tell you 2 drops, they mean 2 drops. But I use old school flea collars. That's what I like. You know, I use on my cat, you know. But as far as vitamins, Miss Diane, I take a Centrum vitamin every morning. I mean, I am 52 years old, so I do like take vitamins, and like Elle was saying, like this high fructose. I also drink juices that are 100% juice. Like V8 makes different flavors
Right.
of juices that are 100% juice. You know, no sugar, no
Right.
fructose. You know, but like what he is bringing up is a concern we should all have, Elle, because I mean, like it's like try reading the labels of some of that stuff
It's
you're
scary.
eating.
It's scary.
It's pretty scary. Yes, it is, Elle.
Yes, it
Can't
is.
even pronounce it.
Yes,
I
yes.
will say this. Now, with regards to supplements,
Well, how about healthy drinks? You think healthy drinks are bad for
Healthy
for
foods?
people's lives too, or do you think that's a good thing?
I think healthy
Well, I think you
foods are
should
good.
go old school remedies. Just make something yourself in the house, like use whatever you have in the house. That would
Yes.
be better for everybody. Don't you
Yes,
think,
yes.
people?
I
Yes.
think
Come
the
on,
healthy
call it,
foods,
call it.
yes. I definitely agree with healthy foods, but let me address the vitamins and supplements. I would suggest everybody out there talks to your personal doctors and your personal PCP or whatever they call them. And I suggest, yes, we should all be taking supplements because even our natural foods and sometimes our organic foods are not giving us the nutrients and the supplements and all of the things that we need. And I myself take a probiotic and I take a couple of vitamins, multiple vitamins. So every one of us should be taking supplements and or vitamins. And I want to tell you something about this probiotic. I, for many years, stayed away from probiotics. The idea of bugs being put into my body, I was like, oh, heck no. It wasn't the word I was using, by the way. But then I noticed something. See, I have a little bit of a challenge digestively. And I have been taking, I think it's omeprazole, or whatever the heck this is, some pill And really, to be honest with you, it never really helped. And then I started taking this probiotic, and I found a substantial improvement over my digestion.
And you have
So
to refrigerate it.
you want to definitely have vitamins, supplements, nutrients, and I would also recommend,
Well, how about fish oil?
yes, fish oil, CoQ10 would be a good idea. But let me say this, I am not a pharmacist, I am not a doctor. What you need to do before you take any vitamins, what you do need to take, vitamins and supplements and powders, what you want to do is consult a conventional doctor and also an herbal or alternative doctor. And I would go a step further and speak to the pharmacist. Because even when I take a vitamin or a probiotic, I always check with my medical professionals. But I will tell you this much. The natural vitamins, the natural supplements are always, in most cases, I will say in most cases, actually improve your body and start to heal your body, as opposed to what medicines generally do not solve the problem and heal it. What it does is it masks it. But this is an actual chance to heal your body. So yes, I would say speak to your doctors about it. And if they are airheaded about it, no offense, I would say talk to a homeopathic doctor. But I can tell you, just from taking this probiotic, things have changed for me. So I would definitely
How about marijuana?
recommend
You
it.
think marijuana is going to be one of the things too?
Um,
How about that, Al? What do you think about
That's a
marijuana?
good. That's a good.
I mean, I
topic.
heard
oh, wait a
about that
minute,
on
we're talking about
TV.
forgiveness, not marijuana.
They want to pass this marijuana
Oh no! Even the control room's probably laughing.
Is that part of the therapy?
I heard that. Did you pay attention to the commercial?
Hold on a minute, Diane. Hold on a minute.
I'm still here.
You're going
All right,
too
well,
far ahead of
Diane-
How about
yourself.
the iron medicine? How
Diane,
about iron medicine?
we're
Can
gonna
you
have-
hear me now?
Okay, Diane, stay on the phone. We're gonna have to move on, but just listen to what I have to say. So, John, if you will, we're gonna end that call, and I'm gonna answer Diane. We wanna.
You like picking on me.
No, we're gonna end that call because we got other callers coming in.
I hope so. I hope we get more callers. Let's
I
go
hope we
fuck
get
Teddy
some
away.
calls. We'll work for calls. No, I just had to say that. Okay.
Okay.
Diane,
You better get
John,
more
can you
callers,
please take
okay?
care of that? Forget about it. Marijuana. Okay, I believe there are medical benefits to marijuana. There are a lot of people that have diseases, terminal diseases or what have you, or pain and chronic pain. So what I would say is, yes, I think we should have medical marijuana, and I
Should
think
they
we should.
legalize it, Al? That's the question.
Hold a minute, hold on
That's-
a minute.
that's-
Yes, they should legalize medical marijuana. Should they legalize marijuana nationwide? I really don't have a problem with that, but what I would like to see is if we're going to legalize marijuana and other more serious drugs, I think should be legalized, and decriminalize it so that we go from a society of treatment and rehabilitation and recovery as opposed to punishment, imprisonment, and gangs killing each other over it. So yes, I feel that we should definitely legalize marijuana, but I would like to see a situation where you could have a certain amount of it that you could buy, and maybe a requirement or almost like a license for it where you would get checked out maybe once a month or once every couple of months so that we can see if you are getting addicted to the point where it could end up causing you to go into higher, more serious drugs and eventually kill you. So I believe in healing somebody, and I believe in if marijuana helps to end people's pain or reduce it or zone them out so that they don't have extreme pain, I'm all for it. I don't believe in illegal drugs, and I don't even like these legal drug dealers, but I believe in helping human and animal lives. I love people. I love humanity. I love animals. I'll kick humanity's butt when it needs it, as evidence is last month, but I still love them. I mean, I'll kick your butt, but I love you. But yes, we should legalize marijuana. We should freaking legalize a lot of these drugs, but regulate them and go from a society of recovery and treatment as opposed to imprisonment and destroying a person's life and convicting them to where they can't get a job. That's my take on it. I'd like to hear the words of Annette Mendel's take on it, and then, of course, Mike McCutcheon's, and then we got some forgiveness to come up in here. Right, Mike?
Yes.
Right,
Yes,
Annette?
Right.
Okay, so your take on the drugs.
Well, I think
Marijuana.
they should legalize marijuana.
And your reasons?
Well, because if it has medicinal properties.
Medicinal.
Now, people like that idea because, you know, in the past, people smoked it to get high and everything. But that's not the whole purpose of it now. And,
We got people looking in.
and well,
Okay.
like I said, if you regulate it and you use it for the purpose of treating and healing, I don't think there's a problem with it.
Well, I'm tired of having such a high population in prison. For a lot of them are non-violent offenders. So I think we need to get away from that. And I think also we could dramatically reduce gang deaths, and we could reduce gang violence, and people like the now deceased Pablo Escobar wouldn't have a multi-billion-dollar empire if it was more legalized. So I think if we move to that model, we could really be in good shape. And we could help save lives. But that's my thoughts on it. Now, Mike, your thoughts, and then we're going to go into forgiveness. We're probably not going to get to the driving, and actually, we may not get to the same-sex marriage if we don't be real quick about the forgiveness. So your thoughts on the marijuana and other drugs.
So my thoughts about legalizing marijuana. I will not comment on that right now.
Uh-oh.
But I would like to see more strict laws on like those drugs that are legal, like alcohol.
Right.
Which you said you claimed at 12 years old you watched your father
Right.
get hit by a drunk driver.
Oh, yeah.
And that seems
And
to be
didn't even go to jail
Yeah,
for
and
it.
that seems to be a big thing in our society today. If you watch the news, it seems like every day there's somebody, and it's like somebody actually runs over and kills a person under the influence of alcohol, and it's like he gets a couple of months, like the life that he took wasn't important. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
yeah. That does happen.
It's insane. Now, I mean, like alcohol kills more people than I think every drug in the world might do. You know, and
I think it's probably alcohol and tobacco
Yeah.
are the two biggest.
yeah, and then you see people that drink alcohol, they make stupid decisions. They want to get a gun, they want to solve an
Right.
argument, and next thing you know, they're in jail for the rest of their lives, all over a couple shots of liquor and
worth it.
bad choices. You know.
Do you know, Mike, and this is the truth, if somebody came up to me and offered me $25 million to have a beer, guess what I would say?
Turn it down.
Heck no. I wouldn't do it.
I'm not a drinker either.
I wouldn't do it. Not even for $25 million.
I'm not a
You
drinker
see,
either, Al.
here's the thing. People say everybody has a price. There are some things in your life you just have to say no, no matter what the temptation is.
Right.
It could be the sexiest woman alive. It could be $25 million, $20 million. I'm still going to say no. Because if I have an adverse reaction and it kills me, what good is that woman going to
That's
do?
right,
What good is
right,
that drink? What's,
right.
you know, it's
Right.
people. I hate to say this. A lot of times people they don't think things
Yeah,
through.
exactly.
I almost said stupid. I don't want to say that that's not true, but they don't think things through.
Right.
Now, would I take $20 million for other things? Yeah, I would. But still, my life has to help other lives, or it is not worth the money they could give me.
Nice, Al.
It's just not. That's how it is. Now, with that, you have any things? How about we do this? Can we do a change up? Would that be all right with you?
What's that?
Can we speak? Well, we do need to get to the forgiveness. We have, well, let's see, I'd say we have about 20 minutes. About do 12 minutes or less on the forgiveness and 12 minutes or less on the same sex. I think we'll be all right.
Okay.
So how about we go with the the forgiveness, and we'll start that with Annette. So now back to Annette.
Well, I don't have to tell you. You already know if you saw the episode last month. If you're tuning in for the first time, Al called me and our friends out last month, and it hurt everybody. We hurt each other, and now we want to focus on resolving the issues. And to update on things, Donna sent me a letter yesterday.
I didn't want you to. Go ahead.
And I'm going to respond to it. And like her, I want to resolve these matters. And I just want to let you know that we're working on forgiveness, and we're going to talk things over eventually and get to the bottom of everything, which is what adults are supposed to do. That's
Nice.
the adult thing to do. And well, if you have fallen out with your family or friends and you don't really want to end it and you want to resolve things in truth, consider doing that, because friendships are valuable, and depending on who your friends are, they could be a treasure.
Nice.
And well, we knew our friends for years now, for like at least 7 years. So I don't want to just say goodbye and forget about all the things that we did and shared and everything. And so forgiveness is a major step, you know. It might be difficult depending on your circumstances, but if you have God on your side and you have it in your heart, I think you could forgive. Now, Al forgave me the mistake I made, and he's working on forgiving, you know, the man I was involved with too. And that's a good start. And hopefully forgiveness, you know, the past is a past, and bygones will be bygones. And that's what I want to see. So not just for us, but for any of you that have, you know, experienced situations or whatever. You know, just work it out, and don't be hostile, and, you know.
Oh, we got a call waiting.
Well said, Annette. Very well said. Well
Thanks.
said.
Don't be hostile and angry, because that doesn't solve anything. And don't be violent. Whatever you do, don't resort to violence, because that just creates more violence, which ain't the answer. So don't do
Right.
that.
Well, looks like you better answer that call, huh?
Caller, you're on.
Yes. Yes, it's Nora, and you know I'm
Hi,
your
Nora.
big sister.
How you doing, Nora?
Okay, it seems like I'm doing fine, but I want to know how Annette is doing.
I'm doing all right, thank you.
Well, you know, Annette, you have been a lovely young lady all your life.
Well, thank you.
And you need to be told how much we love you. Every day.
Thank you.
And Al, you have to start saying it.
Uh-oh. Yeah, well, I've been
I want to
saying.
hear it right now.
Huh?
I want to hear you tell her you love her right now.
Oh, come on, Nora. What is this, Dr. Phil? Oh, all right.
No, this is forgiveness time.
Uh-oh.
That's one of the
Oh,
topics.
I did say it earlier that I love you, didn't I just say
Yes,
that?
you did.
Okay, Net, I love you. Net
I
Mendel,
love you
you.
too. I love you
you,
too.
Net Mendel.
Very nice. Very nice.
Nora,
Okay, I'm through. I love you all three.
do you love our buddy here? This is our buddy Mike over
I
here.
certainly do.
He's
Thank
a
you.
good man.
Thank you, Nora.
When are we gonna have you on the show, Nora?
When I'm able to get down there, I certainly will come.
All right, well, give us a call because we haven't heard from you for a while. We're worried about you.
Okay, bless you all.
Thank you.
God
Yeah,
bless you,
tell
Nora.
Ellen we said hi.
Since God bless you,
Okay.
Nora. Since Nora mentioned that, yes, I do love Annette, and
Nice.
I want to say that.
Nice.
But I want to throw something out there that Annette didn't expect. Uh-oh, here we go again. No. All of you know that I'm involved with a couple of businesses. And I've been very down and out lately, extraordinarily down and out about over a variety of things. So Annette has actually been helping us with the business, making calls and trying to share a groundbreaking product that's going to enhance many, many lives. But I've not been able mentally at this point to get the job done, and Annette has actually been going out there and averaging over 100 calls a day, speaking to total strangers, cold calling, and I want to thank you for that.
You're
And
welcome.
I told her, keep working because we need all the help we can get. But I do want to say, and this is not to advertise anything, the whole reason I'm involved with these businesses, and I will get to you, caller. I'm actually going to answer this caller. The whole reason I'm involved with these businesses, the reason why I do this show, the reason I exist, I figured it out. And it's really, I have to use the words of Napoleon Hill and Andrew Carnegie. It is to render useful service. But it really is to help empower other people's lives. So the reason why I'm involved with these businesses, and I won't tell you what it is or any of that advertising part, but I want to see people no longer live paycheck to paycheck, because 75% of Americans do. And I'm fighting like Muhammad Ali, the world's one of the best fighters, Rocky Marciano, Mike Tyson, Sugar Ray Leonard, you know, anybody you can think of, Critch Clow, I think his name is. I'm fighting just as hard as they do, not physically necessarily, to improve my life, to improve Annette's life, to improve my critters' lives, and Mike's life. And I don't want to see anybody make a minimum wage in America anymore. So I'm working to learn how to get these businesses going. Because here's the reason, and this is not advertising. None of this is advertising. The time for a change globally, mentally, and physically, to make sure that everybody on earth has what they need, that day's coming. I want to be a part of it. That's why I do this show. That's why I can't do the Jerry Springer thing all the time. It's not going to happen. Even if I want to do it, can't do it. It's kind of like asking a human being to be able to fly without wings. It's not going to happen. I might have shades of it, but that's it. But my purpose is to serve. And I believe in a higher power. But let's pretend there weren't one. I'd still serve. If I could prove that God didn't exist 100%, I'd still serve. We need to love Annette. We need to love Mike. We need to love you out there in TV world. That's what it's about. And yes, it is about forgiveness. And you know, I'm going to answer this call. I have about 10 minutes left. I'm going to answer this call. I'm going to tell you about my forgiveness challenges I have right now. I spoke to Mike off camera about it. I got a problem. I got a Hulk Hogan problem, and I got a Michael Vick problem. And we're going to talk about that, even though we may only get a couple of minutes. We're going to eventually, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about same-sex marriage, but we may not get there today. I personally want to talk about it, but I don't know if we'll get there or not, but we'll get there some point. I promise you that. It might be next month because the person, the banjo player, may not show next month. We'll see. Any rate, caller, you're on the air with the Wild Man. Albert
Yes.
Torcaso. How you doing?
I'm trying to find. Yeah, I'm good. Now, the last show, you really got on the young lady.
Yep.
And I'm trying to find out why you would do such a thing. You know, she did something and you put her on TV and you really embarrassed her. And that really upset me. You know,
Okay.
she cheated and you stayed with her. So let it go there. Why do you have to embarrass her on TV? It made her look bad. It made you look bad. So what? She cheated. You're still with her. So who gives a damn?
Well, you have your opinion. I did it because I wanted
Is
to.
she still cheating, sir? Sir, is she still cheating?
No,
No, she does not.
Why did you stop?
because it
Why did
wasn't
you stop?
right.
But you kept doing it. You were cheating for years. L, is that your name, sir?
Yeah, that's my name.
Were you cheating as well?
No, I never cheated once.
And you stayed with her all this time and she kept cheating on you.
Yes, I did.
Wow. So if you stayed, who cares? She cheated. You don't care.
Yes, I do care. That's not true.
You stayed with her. So why put her on TV and embarrassing her?
Because I wanted her to not cheat again in the
But
future.
you don't have to do that on TV, sir.
Well, that's your opinion,
I'm
young.
I'm very upset about that.
Well, I'm sorry that you're upset about it, but that
I
is
think
your
you should
opinion.
not do that again. I don't think you should do that again.
Well, I mean, you have your opinion. I agree with you, and that's why what we're doing now is explaining that the whole purpose is to improve relationships and to get that forgiveness in there.
But why I don't understand. Why do it on live TV, sir?
Because at some point you have to have
If
accountability
you
in
do
your life.
things on live TV, you're trying to embarrass somebody. I don't like that.
That was not the point of it. I mean,
Yes,
you have
sir,
a
it was.
point, but that wasn't the purpose of it.
Well, what was the purpose of it? It was very
The
embarrassing.
purpose
I
was to
very
show
upset about it.
accountability. The purpose was to show accountability and how your
What?
actions can hurt another person.
And
But that should not have been done on live TV, sir.
that
But that's your opinion.
Don't do that again, sir.
yes, it's like if you can understand what I'm saying, we all deal with we
But
all
don't do it on live TV, sir. That's not right. I don't like that. I don't want to see it again. Don't talk about it again unless something's going to happen. She cheated, so what?
okay.
Let
I
it
guess.
go.
Well, it's like everybody deals with
Everybody
their
deals-
anger,
exactly.
their anger differently. You know,
Right.
like what he did might not have been like the professional thing to do, but we all deal
It
with
was
our.
downright nasty, sir. It was downright nasty.
Yes, it was. And yes,
Well,
I
I
guess.
don't remember you there, sir. There was
Yeah.
another young lady.
Yeah, right, exactly. But-
And you know, and I hope you talk to the young man and don't have him do that again.
Well, I mean, like you
Don't
said.
do it again, sir.
Well, I'll do what I have to do, sir.
I'm telling you, don't do it again, sir.
I'll have to do what I have to do, sir, but we're going to go ahead and move forward.
Don't do it again. And young lady, don't cheat.
I'm not.
Well,
You promise?
sir, I'm going to
You
go ahead and
promise, ma'am.
end this call, but you know
Ma'am,
what?
don't-
You
don't
have
do
your
it again.
opinion. You do
Don't
have
do
your
it again. And
opinion.
stop cheating. It's about love.
Yeah, it is about love. You're right.
And don't embarrass anybody on live TV, sir.
Well, I wouldn't be the first to do it, would I?
No, and that's the problem. There's too many Jerry Springers. There's too much nastiness.
Well, that's
It's
exactly
about
why
love.
we're not doing
Don't
that.
ever do that again, sir. And stop cheating.
All right, well,
Stop
we're going to
cheating.
move forward, young man.
I stopped cheating.
Okay, we're going to end that call. Forget about it. Not to forget about the call. That's the code for the end the call. We're not going to forget about the call. I agree with him to a point, but sometimes you have to go up the mountain in different ways. Sometimes it's hard, very hard. But, you know, the purpose wasn't to embarrass. The purpose was what we call accountability. And sometimes it's tough. But that's why I said I'm not a Jerry Springer type. That's not me. But I do want to address the forgiveness because we only have about 6 minutes left. And actually, I do forgive her. It's not the forgiveness that was at stake. It was the fact that I have to know it's not going to keep happening. That was the main thing for me. It was about not letting it keep happening. Okay, and coming to a solution. But I want to address the Hulk Hogan and Michael Vick because I only have about 5 minutes. I'm a little bit conflicted. On the one hand, I'm disgusted and purely disgusted by both men's actions. And the fact that Hulk Hogan would say the N-word when he was angry at his daughter, you know, people say stupid things. He said he was even suicidal at that time. I can't forgive the word, because I hate that word. I don't even like it when I hear in hip-hop music or people saying it as a joke. I don't like when anybody says, I don't care what your pigmentation is. Never did, never will. I think it needs to be eradicated from the whole planet. But I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite, I think, to a point. Because I don't forgive Hogan for what he did. I'm working on it. But I do think it's wrong that the WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, is trying to totally erase his memory as if he never was in the business. That's wrong.
I agree, Al.
Now, my problem with Michael Vick is I'm an animal lover. What he did was reprehensible. But at the same time, there's a problem. If I have the power to forgive Hogan and say things like he shouldn't be taken out of the Hall of Fame, then I must say that maybe both of them are being liars and neither one really care about what they did, or maybe they both really changed. And therefore, if in fact Michael Vick changed and he sincerely is sorry for what he did, it is incumbent upon each and every one of us to forgive the man. As hard as it is, as terrible as his crimes were, the only thing I think that I'm having a little bit of problem with the forgiveness equality there is what Hogan did was horrendous, but no lives were lost. What Vic did, animals' lives were lost. But at the same time, yet and still, and we only have a couple of minutes, if I can forgive one, I must forgive the other, or I cannot forgive either.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And that's what we need to work on.
Exactly.
It's just like the situation with what happened to me personally. If I forgive one, I must forgive all, or I can forgive zero. And that's the challenge. I think we all have it. How many of us can honestly say we have forgiveness? And we're not going to have time to really comment on this too much, but say something, if you don't mind, to the audience and your thoughts on it, Mike.
I'll say this: to forgive her is to never bring it up again.
That's right. That's probably
true. To love her, you know. I was in a relationship with a woman for many, many, many years, you know, and things happened. But like I said, I learned how to forgive her, and I actually, you got to let it go, because the anger and the hate will destroy you.
Oh yeah. But how do we forgive the Hogan and the Vic situation? I mean, it's not fair to not forgive both, or to forgive any.
And I think they ought to both be, you know, like, you know, Hulk Hogan did a lot for the Wrestling Federation, and Michael Vick, I mean, he did his time in jail. I mean, he paid his due to society.
So you would forgive them both?
Yes, I would forgive them both. Okay. And Hulk Hogan, look at all that he's done for wrestling, you know?
Well, let's get in that internet. You have about a minute, and then we have to go ahead and close off. So your thoughts on forgiveness and as a whole?
Well, you know what I said before about forgiveness. So that applies to everybody. I'm an animal lover, and I don't appreciate what Michael Vick did or what he was involved with. But if he did his time and he's truly remorseful for what he did, I think he deserves a chance.
Okay.
And Hulk, well, he made a mistake too, and he's a legend. For Christ's sake. Yeah. So you're not just going to throw away a legend.
Well, that's what they're trying to do.
Well, that's not right.
It's pretty sad. It's sad.
Well, we only have about a minute left, so who wants to lead us in our sign-off instead of me all the time? You want to do it?
Yeah, remember that you and humanity and all forms of life really does matter.